Okay, RISLR group, this is for you. This is multiplying decimals. So I want to take a little bit of time here just to explain what that means. Okay, multiplying decimals basically means that you're going to take a decimal, okay, like let's say 2.3, okay, and let's multiply it by, actually I'm going to move this down a little bit. So let's say 2.3 right here. So 2.3, and we're going to multiply it by 3. Okay, so I have 2.3 and I multiplied it 3 times. So this is basically saying that I have 3 groups of 2.3. So if I were to add that, I'd have 2.3, there's one group, plus another group of 2.3, plus another group of 2.3. So there's my 3 groups of 2.3, and I add them together because this means the same exact thing. Multiplication is just repeated addition. So instead of like multiplying large or adding large numbers together or multiple numbers together, I can just say, hey, I've got 3 groups of 2.3 and I can just multiply it. But we're going to look at the addition first. So I have my 1, so I have 3 plus 3 plus 3, which is 9, right? Here's my decimal, blah, 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 blah. I'm just going to move it down, and then I have 2 plus 2 plus 2, which is 6. So my answer would be 6.9. So let's see what we get over here when we multiply. So we have 3 times 3, ooh, that's 9, and then we have 3 times 2, which is 6. But wait a minute, what the heck? I got 69. Huh. The trick is that when you multiply, you count how many decimal points you have. Count how many decimal points you have. I have one place value. You don't want to count how many decimal points you have. You want to count how many place values after the decimal you have. I don't have any decimals here, but I have a decimal here and I have one place value. So that means that I'm going to move my decimal point 1 spot in. So if I have 69 and I move my decimal point 1 spot in, I'm going to get 6.9, which is exactly what I got over here. Let's try another one. So let's say that I have 3.1 and I'm going to multiply that 2 times. So again, if I come over here and I add it, right, I'm adding this. I go 1 plus 1 and I get 2. Bring down my decimal, bloop, bloop, bloop. 3 plus 3 is 6, so I get an answer of 6.2. Okay, let's see what I get over here. Well, I get 2 times 1 is 2. 2 times 3 is 6. But I get 62. How am I supposed to get 6.2? Well, again, you're going to look at how many place values you have after the decimal. Okay? I have one place value. I have no decimals here. I have one place value. So I'm going to take my 62, right? This means 62, and I'm going to move that decimal 1 spot. And there is my 6.2. Let's try that though. Let's say that I have 1.2 and I want to multiply that by 0.5. Ooh, now I have, how many decimal points or how many place values after the decimal do I have here? Oh, I have 2 here, right? I have a decimal here and I have 1 place value. I have a decimal here and I have 1 place value. So let's see what we get. This is basically saying that I'm taking 1.2 and I'm multiplying it half of a time. Instead of a whole, I'm only multiplying it by a half. So this is basically saying that I'm taking 1 and I'm multiplying it by a half. So 1/2 of 1 would be 0.5, correct? 0.5, okay? And then I'm taking 0.2, half of that. Well, what's half of 0.2 would be? Well, it would be 0.1, right? That's what I'm thinking. Let's see. 0.1. Well, what do I get if I add these together? I would get 6. I get 0.6. Well, let's see what we get over here. So if I have, this is 0, right? I got to carry that 1. 5 times 1 is 5. Plus 1 more is 6, right? But remember, I have two place values, right? So I have one place value here, one place value here. There's two place values. Here's my number, it was 60, which is not the same at all as 0.6. So let's move my 2. 1, 2. Oh, look at that! I got 0.6. This and this mean the same exact thing. This is 0.6. This is 0.6. They mean the exact same thing. It doesn't matter how many zeros you have after it. This means the same thing. So remember, anytime you're multiplying decimals, you count how many place values you have after the decimal point, and that's how much you have to move your decimal. If you don't do that, you're going to get the wrong answer. Okay? So let's try one on your sheet. So let's try number 1. I have 2.8 times 1.7, and I just want you guys to do half this sheet. This is something we're going to work on next year as well, so I just wanted you to be exposed to it. Okay, so I'm not expecting you to be like masters at this yet. I just want you to get some practice with it. Okay, and it's good practice for multiplication. It's good practice for math facts. So 7 times 8 again is 56, so we put down the 6 and carry the 5, right? We're not ready for that 1 yet, so we're just looking at this. So 2 times 7 is 14, plus 5 more is 19. So there we go. I'm done with that number, but bam, done with it. Now I'm going to look at the 1, right? This is 1 times 8. Oh, what do I need to put here first? I'm done with my units. I got to put down my 0, right? And then 1 times 8 was 8. I don't need the 5 there anymore. And 1 times 2 is 2. Okay, so here's my two partial products, 196 and 280. I'm going to add them together. I get 6. I get 17, carry the 1, there's my 4. But wait, 2.8 and 1.7 do not equal 476. That does not make any sense. That's 2 units right there plus 1 unit. Yeah, that's like saying 1 times 2. You're not going to get 476 from 1 times 2. Not going to happen. So what do I need to do? I look at my place values. I have 1 place value here. I have 1 place value here, so that's 2 place values. So I'm going to take that 476 and I'm going to move that decimal. 1, 2. 4.76 is a lot more realistic than 476. So remember, when you multiply, you have to move that decimal point. Okay? So I've done the first one for you, so you only have 6 more to do, so I only want you to do half the sheet. So you choose whatever 6 that you want to do. You don't have to worry about the turkeys or anything like that. Unless you want to do the whole sheet, you're certainly, you can do that. But as far as I'm concerned, this is just a simple exposure, something to do some practice with multiplying decimals. Okay, again, if you have any questions, you can shoot me an email, or you can always ask me in the classroom. Okay? Good luck, guys.